This is Tila. Welcome back to our VBCS tutorial. Today we are going to create a page. Okay, what's the difference today? So far we never used a lookup. So today we are going to create a page with a few lookups. Like if you see that we have three data which is basically foreign keys. This is a foreign key of the table. This is the foreign key of the table, and this is the foreign key of the foreign key. Basically, is the child, this is the foreign key of the period. So now we have to have the idea is we select the statement, uh, and the period we select which is part of the statement, like so that there will be a validation, we'll add that. Now, okay. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to use a small trick, okay. So this is not very straightforward. I'm going to use a small trick because the statement ID is not part of the current table. It has to come from, it cannot be stored anywhere because that is part of, even not even part of period. That's a foreign key of the period, okay, or the parent key of the period. So this one, we use a kind of a dummy key. Okay, now let's see how do we do that. Okay, now let me go, let me use the wizard, add a create page. Okay, now what I'm going to use, I'm going to use a period. No, sorry. I'm going to do the person period statement. Okay, that is what I'm going to use it. Now, what are the things I need it? Let me put that. Okay, this is create. Nothing more than that. Page title is manage statement setup. The page will be called statement setup, right? Statement setup. That is what the page name is. Okay, ID will come here. Period ID is here. Person ID is here. Okay. Now we also get the statement ID. Okay, ID is here. Now what we have it. We go to the period object. Within the period object, we get the statement ID. We'll put it here. Okay. Now what we do, we choose a person first. Okay, we choose the person first, and we choose the statement second. Choose the sorry. Let me go here. Choose the statement second. We choose the statement ID here. Next, that's all we are going to do that here. And since it's a foreign key, it's automatically create the single select. So automatically do all this works. I'll show you what it is creating. Okay, I have a statement. I can put it out close to this one so it looks a bit. What we have is toolbar here. Then we can put it. Let's see. We'll put input value under that part. Okay, let's see. So we can take this one out. So does it? So it is coming under that. Okay, let me see whether I can use a class of any class. I can use it. I can use some 12. This control is there. Okay. Okay, you leave it. We'll come back to that the lookup field later. Okay. Now, what is happening here? If we go to that credit statement setup, we go to this credit statement setup. We ask for a person ID. We ask for a lookup. Let me change the name of it to person ID. Person. This is the statement. Statement. This is the period. Okay. Period. Now what happens? Statement ID we can't use it. The reason is we can't use the statement ID is, okay, we cannot use this statement ID. This is coming from a person period. This one we can't use that part. Okay. So instead of that, what we are going to do here is, even we are not going to even use it from the data also. Data will use it, but the value we don't use it. Instead of that, we are going to create a variable called statement ID. Okay. The reason why we can't use it is, if we are trying to insert anything, it is going to create a one value to the child also. The child is always like, I mean, the child object also is trying to create. That is not allowed here. Okay, you cannot create a statement or a period from this page. So it is not this. It is going to throw the error. So what we do here is we go to the variable. I create a okay, statement ID. Let it be a number. Statement ID, let it be a number. I'm creating it. Okay, now, okay, now I do that part. Now I'm going to the type. Okay, now if you are type, I don't need to get that. Okay, now the period request. Am I right? These are all period response, person response. This is for the lookup. Okay, this is the one we are using for the data. Okay, now I take out the statement ID. I don't need the statement ID here. Okay, I don't need the person ID object. I don't need that statement. I am taking it out. Now let's see how does the variable looks. Now the I like type. I change the type here. Now let's go to here. Period ID. Right. So now how does it look? Probably it has got some kind of a default because it is also defining the child word. So we don't need one default. So we take it out. Okay. So now. Okay. Now we are kind of done. I think we are fine now. Okay. So that's got only the ID, period ID, person ID, nothing more than that. Okay. Now we have a statement ID. We go to the input. We go to the base designer. Because the base designer is showing, because we go to the code. We go to that. Okay. Now what we do here is we just say we can go to the UI also. You can do that. Or here also you can do it. This is just a variable dot statement ID. Nothing more than that. Okay, that's it. I go to the design, you see the whole thing. Okay, now I got the person ID, I got the statement ID, I got this one. How does this working? Let's see. I'm not going to save or I'm not going to do anything. I'll show you because now I have to validate the period ID for a statement ID. That's the only thing I have to do. That I'll come and show it to you. Okay, now I'm creating it. Okay, it is perfectly working fine. I can choose non editing. I can choose the total line statement. This is going to show me everything. It is not going to filtering according to the total line. There should come only T. Am I right? So now how do I filter the statement for a period or a period for a statement? Right. Yeah, tell it. Now, okay. This is coming from a variable called list SDP. Now let me go and list SDP variable. I mean periods list SDP. Periods list SDP. Let me go to that criteria. Let me go to the criteria. The same thing what we did last time. Like, let me go to the criteria. Add a criteria. Say here, this has got a statement ID because this probably has got a statement ID is equal. because equal of the variable statement ID. Variable, no, variable, where is that statement ID is coming? Variable dot statement ID. Okay. Statement ID. Okay. Now, so basically, I'm telling the statement ID has to be equivalent of the variable of the statement ID. Okay. Now, let me go and cancel that. Let me kind of refresh the page. Okay. Create. Let me create. Yes, yes, yes. I create a total testing. Create a period. It's just the one come here. So assume I change the period happen. What happened? Coming here. This is coming here. Okay. The only thing, one more thing I can do here is whenever like this changes happen here, I can create an action here. I can reset the page, readjust the component. I can do that. By doing that, what happens is if I'm changing here, this will be nullified. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, here what happened now? You can save it. So it has got a different ID. It has got a different ID. So that is wrong. Am I right? So that is also let me do that. Now what happened? I go to the page designer. So there's an event change event or whatever the event on value item. Basically, is the value is changing here. Okay, now when the value is changing here, I'm going to reset the component. Okay, it's called reset variable. Now I'm going to pick up the variable. Okay, now the variable is basically probably period per period statement person or person, like person at the end. Statement, not a statement even. Where is that? Personal statement period ID. Am I statement period ID? That is what it is going to reset the variable. Okay. Now there is a one problem is here. I tell you whether first of all whether we see this working or not. Okay. Now let's go to the page. We refresh the page. Okay, let's see, create. We select the person. We go for a total earning. We get here one. Now I'm changing it. When I'm changing it, I want that to reset. Okay, it is resetting it. Okay. Now if I'm changing this to new testing it may not. New test period is there. Okay, now I'm saving it. Okay. Now let's see where's the yes. Yeah, the person is there. New testing is there. Okay. So the work is happening here. Now the problem, what is happening actually, the practical problem is when you are editing it. When you are editing it, this is the variable is going to set up, this variable is going to set because you are going to populate the data to here. When you are populating the data, what happens is this is going to reset that to reset the value. So when you are populating it, so basically somehow you have to avoid this action when you are populating it the first time when you are coming into the page. Somehow you have to avoid that part. Okay. Let's see how do we do that when you are editing it. That's all for the day. If you, I can tell you what is happening in that lookup. Basically, they define a type in a edit. It is nothing but it is picking up it is coming from a period response. Okay, So here basically pick up the response. From the responses, it gets the item ID and the name. That's all. And there will be a service data provider (SDP) created on that basis. Then the STP is used in the variable like when you are going for a single. Sorry, I put to the, yeah. When you are choosing this one, like the single what's it called, single select, there will be two this one. One is the data, where the data is coming from here, and the item text, which is basically displayed the values that the item which is attached to that. Okay, that's all. Like you have to do that. Like even manually you can do that. We'll do that next time. Like when you are doing it. I thought of doing it for a statement, but okay, that the hack I was trying to show you how to do that part. Okay, that's it from me today. If you have anything to say or put it in the comment, otherwise I'll see you next time. Bye.